tournament, so I just wanted to make sure you had everything. All right, let's get to it. Skarner replay, jungle Skarner. Love the Ghost. Well, do I love the Ghost? Or would I prefer the Flash? Pros and cons for each. Ghost is pretty good early, I would argue, and then Flash is probably better later in the game. Because Ghost is fucking easy to peel in a late game scenario, whereas Ghost is not easy to get away from in an early game scenario. All right, YouTube, what up? It's Nisi, Season 7, League of Legends coaching, Skarner jungle, debating on Ghost and Flash. Let's see how much value you get out of Ghost early, then we'll go from there. Level 2. Your pathing is killing me, Smalls. I don't know why you pathed. You did kind of the goofy path where you go down and then up and then down and all that stuff. Unless it just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know. Maybe you know something that I don't about your pathing. Unless it's somehow no. I can't imagine how that's gonna be smooth for you. But yeah, pushing for level 6 quickly is a good option, and maybe that's what you're doing. I'm not going to judge you until I see it. So, we waste a lot of time. Can you fix the overlay? I am so sorry. I am sorry. It was my fault. I did it. Overlay's fixed. My bad. My bad, YouTubes. So let's talk about why this happens to us, dude, and what we can do to avoid it. This all comes back to having a plan, okay? I don't know fucking Skarner players. I don't. And I'm not going to pretend to know the best fucking route for Skarner. But I'm going to tell you what I would do if I were you playing Skarner. First things first, because you don't get any value out of Ghost early, and in general, Brazil, thanks for the 5 months in a row. And I don't know how we would get much value out of Ghost early. I would recommend playing for Flash as opposed to Ghost. And I would recommend pushing for 6 as soon as possible and then hitting ganks. Unless you come up with a way to get early ganks going, reliable early ganks going with Ghost, either in bot lane or top lane. I guess mid too, if you could hit level 3 with red buff and path behind the mid laner. But I think more reliably it would be for you to either counter gank, obvious ganks as Skarner, or rush level 6. Now, what happens up here is if you go back in time, Bad boy, thanks for subbing, dude. You guys are awesome today. Thank you so much. Notice how you get caught in this weird moment of I can't do shit right now. So you're floating. Your camps are starting to respawn finally. Down here. And you had just cleared, I believe you cleared top to bottom and floated around. A lot of the reason why this camp was so delayed was because of the route you took, I'm pretty sure. But regardless, our goal should be to push for 6 as fast as possible. You get caught in this funky skirmish up here, but there's no kill potential for you, dude. There's nothing that you're going to be doing here, and that's fine. Alright, that's fine to not do anything. Just push for 6 and get farm and get levels. This is always my default, by the way, junglers. This is what I always tell my jungle guys in the coaching sessions. If we don't know what to do, we go and farm. We don't dick around. If we don't have a very clear gank, and I'm going to tell you, Skarner ult is one of the easiest things to gank with. So let's just... wait, what? Level... That Zizra, dude. Yeah, I wish. But that's what we should be doing. Pathing for 6 as soon as possible, getting XP. You float around, you dance with these guys for no reason. There's no value here. You have no lane control. Riven's controlling lane over Lux. You float around again. Blue's coming up. You've now invited red team into your jungle. They're in your jungle now. Remember, you're not 6 yet. That not having flash gets you killed there. That's a perfect example of that. And now you're going to lose the early game. Go get him. Okay. So, let's look at this. We hit our gank at like 9:30, 9:15 or something like that. In the future, I want you going into a custom. I want you taking your Skarner. And I want you finding out, or at least find someone to give you some decent route ideas. Like, I don't know if there's any like Skarner streamers or what the fuck. Is there a Skarner streamer? Serious. I don't even know. This is my first tip to you, is notice that, as I said, the only thing that's reliable for us is our level 6 gank. So like we're playing Warwick, Vi, Skarner, Nocturne. Focus on getting there and making your life easy as soon as possible. Last Skarner in A. He probably is the last one. We need to find the fastest clear to 6, Mr. Earlock. That's what we need. We need the fastest clear to 6 so we can do what we just did here as fast as possible. And I'm gonna go with Flash is probably gonna be better for you. For the deception and the fact that, you know, it's a little less obvious than the fucking Ghost. Claw09, thanks for 2 months in a row. Hope you stay, man. I love that you're rotating to the fight. Well, let's see what we can do here. I want to see who you grabbed. I think you grabbed Nami. I kind of hate the Nami grab because it's no one that you want to waste time on. It's a 0, 2, and 2 support. So I don't like it as much as taking like their jungler out of the picture. I'd prefer to take their jungler out of the picture because that normally means I get to take his camps after. And let's see. And he has camps. So that's the one I would prefer to deal with or to get rid of. And also a lot of the times if we can get Zac, we get his passive, which means he's less excited to go into fights. I would just rather do that. Yeah, Kayle or Zac are good options. Yeah, either or. Either or is better than Nami. I think Ghost didn't. I don't think he lost value with Ghost there, because I mean, technically, if they're fighting like that, Ghost is great because we don't, you know, they're committed. That's not like we're fooling anybody about what we're gonna do, right? Flash is more like when we're in one of those team fight situations where we're like sieging. It's a lot nicer to have a Flash than a Ghost because that way we can deceive a little bit and quickly grab someone before they can react. So we pull Zac to us. Riven's going crazy. It's a pretty messy fight all around. Yeah, that was just messy. I mean, that's really all there is to that. I'll have to go back and look at that fight again. I'm gonna turn on the fog. My first thought is that if we're bringing Zac, if we're... This ult doesn't make any sense. Now, it was one thing when Zac was like 20% HP on a turret. It's another thing when you're just ulting him to ult here. It doesn't do any good. You're not going to burst this guy down, and you need to, as a player, recognize that this guy is not dying. Instead, what you want to do is you want to kite back with the intent of leaving the fight. Kite back with the intent of leaving the fight. It's not a pretty fight for us. We don't have any clear picks. Nar's really poked down. This isn't doing us any favors getting involved in this fight. Also, in terms of your build, I'm not quite sure why you're going for Warrior. I don't know if that's standard or not. To my knowledge, Cinderhulk's more standard. But that's not the reason why we lose it. I mean, it might be part of it, but I would imagine that our main priority here, like you pull Zac here, which I disagree with, because pulling him here pulls him into turret, we get his passive. Pulling him here just puts him in the back line where he wants to be, and now we're committing to the fight because we don't have our ult now. So now we're basically stuck into it. Zac gets ult. He's, like I said, he's exactly where he wants to be. We could have just peeled back. And then if Riven had showed up, we kept our ult. If we had kited all the way back to this point, we could have very, very calmly just walked away and then ulted somebody to the turret if we needed to as a last-ditch effort to get the shield. But the way we play this, I don't really know if I agree, because we don't have the sustained damage to deal with the Zac right now. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Wow, that Lux ult is... Here we're grabbing Riven without any, like, follow-up. You have Blitz there, Lux just ulted, Tristana's pushing bot. You don't really want to grab... You gotta understand, dude, when you ult, that isn't engage. That basically means you are committed. If you are wrong, Skarner ult's cool, because when you're right, you just pick somebody, the fight's weighted, you're tanky, everything's cool. But when you're wrong and you pull somebody, you commit everyone to a fight that you can no longer win because you just ulted. And as you can see, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Blitz gets caught. He just barely lives, but regardless, we're going to lose the tower. We basically lose the fight. We can't defend. And there it is. There's the Zac jumping the wall. Not much we can do. You're lucky that Zac holds his ult. Yeah, dude. This is what I'm going to tell you about this replay, from what I can see. These are things that are going to improve your gameplay for Skarner, okay? First thing you got to do is you got to hit the books. This game's messy. It's pretty much dead to me. The reason being is because Riven's huge, Zac's huge, Kale's huge. Yes, you have a big Tristana. Well, let's see the game a little bit longer before we shut this one down. I'm actually curious how this plays, because you guys do last a lot longer than you should, given the action, so I want to see. What the hell? You hate that Nami, don't you? I do want to see how this plays. You do have the level lead over Zac, but this is 20 minutes, dude. 20 minutes. We're level 10. I think that this is a pathing issue at its core. Wow. Did Kale have ult? Yes, she did. Apparently she didn't care to use it. In the future, I'd like to point out that you rotated from bottom to mid after picking the Kale. You don't have ult anytime soon, so you might as well just shove bot to the tower and get all that XP, because see, it's just breaking even. Kale shows up again. We probably could have shoved that in if we wanted. Kale's about to get ulted again. That's hilarious. An odd Baron? No, they're not a Baron, are they? No. Wow, this Lux is horrible. So you pull Riven in. Good job. Tristana's getting 1 million damage off. You guys just kind of plowed your heads into each other and hoped for the best. This is a mess. As far as fights go, I don't like how you stood on this one. I would much rather you just ghost. I would much rather you just ghost and kill the Varus and leave the Tristana to do basic human functions like jump away from Kayle. But just standing there and like tanking damage, I don't really agree with, and I think that you should be trying to basically avoid Kayle at that point and just run by and kill the Varus and force Kayle to make a choice, as opposed to grouping on top of each other, taking AoE damage by Kayle and then just dying. You could have also, if you ghost by the Kayle, kill the Varus and then move up and push top. That could have been more useful too. Yeah, that was gonna be my next thing, Igloo, is that I think our build seems kind of 80s. Seems kind of like Rick Astley, dude. Seems like some Rickroll shit. You guys get caught chasing Riven. Tristana, what? Tristana gonna go suicide? Let's see this. Is this guy retarded? He does have his jump. Just clueless. Okay. Alright, this is a pretty good stopping point, because now Kayle's getting big and Zach's huge and your carry sucks and you get the picture. Alright, first things first, dude. You need to have a better idea of what the hell you're doing with Skarner. I'm watching you. I'm just seeing a clusterfuck. You clear kind of sloppy, like you go from like red to chickens down. Like, let's work on first hitting 6 as fast as possible, with 6 hitting a gank, then from 6 building out towards like Cinderhulk Triforce is what I want to see more often. Kind of like Hecarim, maybe go towards Triforce first instead of finishing the jungle item, depending on how fed you are. Maybe look at that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Cinderhulk is worth finishing first, but at the end of the day, I don't like the Iceborne. I don't like the Warrior, because I think it in turn makes you a little bit squishier until you get Dead Man's Plate, when in reality I think you could go Cinderhulk Triforce, have more damage, be tankier, and just in general you're going to have more chances to carry. In the mid game, you get caught in this weird spot where you're just running around instead of doing full clears. Skarner is one of those champs where either we do the fundamentals right or we don't. Cool thing about Skarner is we do the fundamentals right, we become stupid tanky, unkillable, we carry fucking games. We do the fundamentals wrong, we're kind of useless. Okay, it's very, very important to clear fast and to have goals when we're running through. Skarner's actually a great jungler in terms of picking up, like, hitting power spikes, executing power spikes, going back farming. Think like a weaker Hecarim. That's kind of where I'm at with Skarner. He's sort of like Hecarim. He's a little bit weaker, though, but he has very reliable ganks at level 6. We're not going to be getting a lot done, though, with Skarner if we're just kind of going through the motions, jungling at an inefficient pace, ganking at an inefficient pace, getting to 6 slowly, getting our levels slowly throughout the game because you weren't doing full clears. Your goal is to get big and tanky and be 1v9ing. That's your goal in low elo. Okay? And Cinder's only rush when you're behind. Okay, good. Yeah. I definitely want to see that coming out with you though next time. After that point, after like Cinder Hulk and Triforce, I know that there's not many people playing Skarner right now. The only person that I know that's playing it is fucking Saint Vicious. I'm pretty sure he's like spamming it for some reason. But at the end of the day, like, it all comes down to that, dude. Like, I don't have to be a Skarner main to tell you that you need to get 6 fast, gank with 6, Triforce Cinder Hulk, and then what, fucking Z-Rot after that? Swifties? Like, and just pressure those picks. Also, I would definitely get rid of Ghost. I don't think Ghost is that good, personally. But I could be completely wrong. But most Skarners that I'm seeing are running Flash. Like, most all Skarners run Flash. So, yeah. Alright. Try Dead Man's Play Visage. That's cool, too. Yeah, anyways, you get the idea. And as for your team fighting, you were fine. Just make sure that you're not just spazzing and grabbing the first person you see. Really try to pick your targets. Like in the fight here in mid, you kind of picked Sloppy. You kept going for the Nami over and over again. In this fight here, you looked kind of ready to grab Riven. Not as ready as I would like you to be, though. It's on you as the fight's breaking out. You need to be thinking about who am I CCing and then going for them as soon as they appear. All right, I hope this helps you, my dude. Thanks for submitting the replay. YouTube, thanks for watching Season 7 Coaching with Skarner Jungle. Like, subscribe, share all that bullshit. I'm out. Peace, crackers. Thank you so much.